YouTube. Your boy is back once again with another dating and relationships video. Okay, so what to say to a woman on a date? Now, if you're looking for some lines, some cheesy lines, some chat up lines, or whatever you call it, this is not the place. First of all, let's talk about the lines, the cheesy lines. First of all, yeah, with the cheesy lines, do they actually work? It's up for debate. Secondly, when you use them lines, a lot of women know that you're using lines on her. In fact, there's been a couple of times in the past when I'm talking to women, whether it's on a date or, I first met them, and I'm not even using, I'm just talking. And a couple of times they said to me, "Oh, you're using those lines, yeah?" Like, I'm just talking. So sometimes women can even think you're using lines when you're not using lines. So a lot of women know when you're trying to use some kind of line on them, yeah? Don't look good. And thirdly, there's a saying that you should be yourself. So you shouldn't be using lines, you should be yourself. Now, let's look at that part. Should you be yourself on a date? What do I think? Yes and no. Yes, you should be yourself. Yes, you should not be on a date trying to, show off or do whatever, or use lines that a lot of women can see through. But sometimes I say, no, you shouldn't be yourself. Because if you are someone who has very low self-esteem, yeah, you're just throwing out so many compliments to the woman, you're projecting your lack of self-worth to the woman. Being a cheesy guy, dancing and not physically dancing, but, just trying to entertain a woman because, you're trying to do as much as you can to, keep her interested, and all that might show. So if that's you naturally, then no, don't be yourself. Don't be yourself, yeah? And you might not know that you act that kind of way. So how could you find out? You can speak to your friends. Or another way to find out is if you're not getting second dates, you're only getting first dates, and then the woman don't want to see you again, then that's another indicator. So, okay, let's get to the actual question. What should you say to a woman on a date? Right. First of all, one thing you need to recognize is that, right, when you speak to a woman, when you go on a date with a woman, yeah, the woman has some level of interest. You may not know straight away if it's high level or, medium level interest or whatever, but the woman has some kind of interest. Now, obviously, it's beneficial for you as a man for the woman to have as much high interest as possible. But through words alone, you cannot raise a woman's interest that much through words alone, yeah? With words, you can maintain a woman's interest at a level, but with words, you can reduce the woman's interest dramatically. Yes, you can talk your way out of the pussy. Plain and simple, bluntly. You could talk your way out of the pussy. So you could easily talk yourself out of the pussy, but you can't raise a woman's interest too much via just words alone, yeah? On a date. So with that said, in my humble opinion, you should do as less talking as possible. And with women like to talk a lot. So use that to your advantage. Right? Okay, so now, what should you say? I think on the first date, you should open up and say, "So, tell me about yourself." So first, that's not even a question. That's a kind of demand, or yeah. So tell me about yourself. I don't say it like, "Oh, so tell me something about yourself." No, just say, "So tell me about yourself." Yeah. Now that's open. So she can't say yes or no to that. So she's gonna tell you about herself, right? So you're getting her to talk. You're getting her to sell herself to you. Yeah. So when you're saying, "Tell me about you," so when she's selling herself to you, don't like congratulate her and big her up for everything she's telling you. Don't like, oh wow, that's amazing. No. Just, okay, that's interesting. The girl could tell you she's an astronaut and a brain surgeon at the same time. Don't say, wow. Just, okay. Show interest, but yeah, okay. That's interesting. Yeah. Don't let her know that she's winning you over. Do you understand? So, and the reason why I would say one of the first things to say is tell me about yourself, because she probably is going to ask you that as well. You want to say it first. So when she answers, you see how much information she gives away. Then you can decide how much information you want to give away when she asks you the question. Yeah? Speaking of giving information away, you don't want to tell a lady your whole life story. Yeah? We'll get back to that in a second. So with the questioning, when you ask her, right, tell me about yourself. Well, it's not a question, but when you say to her, tell me about yourself, when she says certain things, then that will generate follow-up questions. So now she's told you a little bit of her life or a lot of her life, depending on how much she wants to tell on herself, yeah? But then you ask follow-up questions. So she might be a doctor. So she might talk about all the degrees that she took in university to become a doctor. So, for example, your next question could be, okay, so how did you feel once you finally got your final qualification or whatever? Again, it's not a closed question, so she can't answer yes or no. So she's going to tell you how, and then you can, just ask lots of open-ended questions. That's what you say to a woman. Let her talk. Women love to talk. Show interest, but don't act like, wow, you're amazing. Just, okay, that's interesting. Yeah? Don't big her up. Don't throw out all compliments and that. Let her think, okay, I'm telling this guy all this stuff. He doesn't even seem too phased. So she feels like she has to sell herself. So you're in the almost, I don't even want to use the word win, but you're almost in the winning position because she is now trying to sell herself to you. And with your reactions, she's feeling like she has to sell herself to you even more. So you're not even doing much talking. Yes, she will ask you some questions. So now, let's get to her asking you questions. Yeah? Right. Now, when she asks you questions, don't tell her your whole fucking life story. First of all, yeah. Oh yeah, that's another thing. Don't ask questions, right, that you don't want her to ask you the question. So for example, if you just recently lost your job, you shouldn't be going on dates if you just lost your job. But if you just recently lost your job, don't ask her, where do you work? She's going to ask you a question about your job that you don't have, right? Anyway, so when she asks you questions, yeah, don't tell her yourself. Just answer the question with the minimal information as possible. And anything great about yourself, don't go on like it's an amazing thing. So let me give you an example. Let's say you drive a brand new number plate, brand new Mercedes S500. And the girl directly asks you, so, what car do you drive? Just say to her, I drive a Mercedes. Don't go, wow, yeah, I got an amazing Mercedes. No, just, I drive a Mercedes. Don't say it's a new plate Mercedes S500. Let her find that out later. You got a Mercedes-Benz S500, brand new, right? So she asks you what car you drive. Just say, yeah, Mercedes. And say it like it's nothing, right? Let her find out later on down the line it's an S500. Do you understand? Yeah? Just with when you speak to women, yeah, especially on a first date, don't just throw out everything out there. Let her find things out later. Let her interest build and build. So she's already got some level of interest. Yeah? You got a nice house. For example, say you take her back to your house on the second date. Wow, this is a nice house. Yeah? If you're living in a city like Paris or New York or London and you know, you're taking her out in central New York or London or Paris or whatever city in the city center, right? And you got a flashy car. Don't 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 take your car to take her out just to show off your flashy car. And then pay some high parking prices and you don't know where to park because you're in the city center. Take an Uber or whatever. It's fine. She'll find out what flashy car you got later. Anyway, let's get back to the actual thing about what you say to the woman. So there's no script, there's no cheesy lines. Just ask her open questions. Start with tell me about yourself, and then whatever she tells you, then build from there. Don't ask her questions that you don't want her to ask you, yeah? For whatever reason. Okay? Now, when the woman's talking to you, you don't want to like lean forward and wow, okay, I'm so interested in you. Don't do no disrespect thing. I'm not talking about no disrespect thing. I'm not talking about don't show any interest. Show interest, but don't be all up like wow, yeah? Lean back. Even turn to the side a little. Face her, show interest, show respect, yeah? But yeah, just, have the conversation. Let the conversation flow, yeah? Right? And anything amazing about, you don't need to tell her that you got 2 side businesses other than your job. You don't want to tell her all the, thousands of or tens of thousands of dollars or pounds or euros that you've got invested in particular companies. Yeah? Anything like that she can find out later. Well, she doesn't even need to know everything. Yeah? She asks you questions, you answer with the minimal answer. Yeah? So that's what you say to ladies on a date, guys. You ask open questions. Let her sell herself to you. Yeah? And you don't react. Don't compliment her on things. Let the woman chase your validation. Don't make it be the other way around. No matter how sexy or pretty she is. Calm, yeah? Don't let anything faze you. Don't say, oh, wow, that's amazing, that's great. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, okay. That's pretty decent, right? So, but show your interest, but don't overdo it. I think I've covered everything I wanted to say. It's plain and simple. You just ask open questions, and when you're answering, and anything amazing that you might have your Mercedes S500. You might have your MBA degrees and whatever hell if she asks you about that, answer, but don't pick it up. It's just, that's what it is. It is what it is. Yeah. So comment down below. Let me know if you agree or disagree. Let me know if you've got particular lines that you say to a lady on a date. And as I always say, like the video if you like the content. If you don't like, feel free to hit the dislike button. But subscribe, because the videos will be coming thick and fast. And don't forget to hit that notification bell so that YouTube lets you know when your boy uploads another video.